Etsy says it supports handmade sellers, but 2024, the story they're telling sellers and the numbers they're reporting to investors don't quite match. And that mismatch, that's the investigation. If you appreciate this type of content, forensic breakdowns of systems that don't add up, hit that like button. It helps other people find us. So let's get into it. This information is from Etsy's website, with the exception of this image right here that says official site. This came from the Google listing. This says they're a community doing good. They support independent creators. They protect your privacy and provide you with peace of mind. They want to keep commerce human. They have 45 million items that highlight the magic of human imagination. Their tagline is, where people come together to make, sell, buy, and collect unique items. This sounds like a community of independent creators, but let's take a look at what's actually happening inside the marketplace. You've got mega print-on-demand shops with the capacity to generate hundreds of designs within a few minutes. Drop them onto dozens of products and flood your search results. And those sellers never have to touch a finished item. Does that sound handmade? Custom, maybe. Handmade, no. Meanwhile, your actual handmade sellers have to design an item, buy materials, source materials, make it, photograph it, ship it, answer their own customer inquiries, and master an increasingly complex system of SEO terminology just to be seen. Then Etsy takes its cut. This is a real example of what happened to them as of July of 2026. This is a new shop. When we take a look at all of the fees, we have a one-time shop setup fee, a 20% per listing fee, 6.5% transaction fee, percent plus 0.25 payment processing fee, a 15% site ad fee, and a 2.5% currency conversion fee. Of the $209.77 in sales they have made, $29 of that had to go to Etsy for the initial setup fee that was paid in May of 2026, the end of the month. They have paid $20.60 in listing fees. They have paid 14.54 cents in sales tax or transaction fees. And for credit card processing fees, they have paid 3% to the credit card transaction company and 25 cents, that's a typographical error, per sale to Etsy for every item that they've sold. And they've also paid $9 in marketing for offsite ads. And I will caution you, if you are setting up a new store, it appears that offsite ads is now a default opt-in. So if you do not turn it off, you will automatically be enrolled in an offsite ad campaign. So if you do not have that built into the cost of selling your product, make sure you turn it off. Then they've had $50.36 worth of shipping charges. That does not include the cost of any packing or shipping materials that they have had to accumulate to ship their actual products. That's just the fee that's been paid in shipping to Etsy. The seller's take after all of that is $78.41. So of that $209.77, the seller's take is only $78.41. And that is before any self-employment tax would be paid. And that is 15.3%. But they may not owe that tax because this does not take into account their actual costs. If this is a seller who did not include the cost of their time, the cost of their material, their overhead costs into what they were charging for that product, this could potentially be a deficit where you are essentially giving your craft away for free or at a detriment to yourself. And think about all the work that you put into it. Just something to consider. Even though tracking costs is not fun and nobody likes to do it, it is important to do if you are trying to turn your hobby into a business inside of Etsy's marketplace. We do have some handmade sellers there, but what you will find print-on-demand shops producing a tremendous volume of products. If you've taken a look recently at any of the big print companies, you will see that they have catalogs that you can have a design printed on, thousands of designs. And that doesn't even take into consideration all the different variations of t-shirts. So you're talking about competing against a shop that does print-on-demand as a handmade seller. Let's say you're crocheting little stuffies or you are making candles even. You cannot produce at the same capacity to be competitive against a print-on-demand shop. You just can't. As one person who hand makes items, you can't compete against something like that. On scale, for sure. Maybe on value, but that involves getting through the flood of search results to get found. And people who have these big print-on-demand shops never have to touch a single item. They're talking a minimal time effort, because if you have gotten any degree of skill with prompting an AI, you can go into any image generating AI and have a design in 30 seconds. It's a very interesting problem. Well, a very interesting thing happening. And I don't even want to say that this is necessarily an Etsy thing only, because I think that this happens in other places in the market. In Q1 of 2020, marketplace sales dropped 5.3% year over year. So that means fewer items sold, less merchandise moving, but their revenue still went up. Take a look at the graph. The orange line is gross merchandise sales, showing a pretty stable decline, and then their revenue takes a pretty substantial leap starting in 2023, but well into 20, and then stable for 2025. We haven't got preliminary 2026 numbers anywhere that I've seen yet, so I don't know what that looks like, but I'm very curious to see. So what this means is that even though the amount of merchandise is moving is less, Etsy's revenue still went up. So how does this happen? This is because Etsy increased their take rate. In 2025, that rate hit 24.2%. That means for every dollar of merchandise sold, Etsy extracts 24 cents. That does not include advertising revenue. So less stuff being sold, more money flowing to the platform. Etsy operates an affiliate program through Awin. They also run a direct affiliate program where creators own 2% of commission on standard published content. So blogs, media, 2% for social media, UGC content. Etsy is extracting money from sellers to give to affiliate marketers to drive traffic to the platform. I find that very interesting, because most of the content that I've seen on Etsy and trying to drive people to the platform does seem to be more geared toward print on demand. So we are taking money from your small independent craftspeople who really cannot afford to absorb those fees, funneling it out into the market to an influencer or blogger or whatever, and then having that generate traffic back into Etsy, but to sell goods that can be mass produced while appearing handmade. Because think about this, it wouldn't make sense for Etsy to have an influencer marketing your grandmother's crocheted blankets, right? Because she might make 3 or 4 of those a year, and while they're valuable and beautiful, that only can serve 4 customers. But if I can drive a customer to a print-on-demand shop, I can serve an infinite number of customers. So that's something to consider. If you are a fan of investigating, if you are an armchair detective, you like that kind of work, and you want to see what my process looks like for how I investigate, what I look for, how I come to the conclusions that I come for, and see if this will apply to your business and give you some insight on how to solve some problems, I do have a step-by-step guide to my process. It is located in the pinned comment for this video and in my description, so you can download that. Next, we're going to look at the root cause. Etsy tells sellers a pretty straightforward message: optimize your listings, follow the rules, become a master of the more ads, and you'll succeed. All right. So the problem exists because we have small handmade sellers getting low traffic and being cannibalized by fees. So the solution is become a better seller, right? Learn to optimize your listings. We've now given you 2 videos to display the beautiful quality and craftsmanship of your work. Learn how the algorithms work. Learn how to be found. Buy more ads. Join the newsletter. Listen to our podcast. Read the seller handbook. Then you'll succeed. But the problem with this is that Etsy's business model doesn't actually require handmade sellers to succeed. It requires millions of sellers to keep trying. Etsy still sells the story of handmade artists, but its financial incentives reward something else entirely different. The numbers don't add up. The math doesn't make sense unless the product isn't handmade goods unless the product is the seller's. And if so, are Etsy's buyers and sellers both being misled? That's for you to decide. All right, so now what do we do? Now that we've identified all of these things, we are going to make sure, if we already have open shops, that we know the true cost of our goods and charge accordingly. We are going to learn how to use the Etsy system to our advantage. We are going to explore alternative sales outlets that do not come with such a steep cost. Do you have another solution? Can you think of something else that might work? If so, leave your recommendations in the comments below. To validate my theory, I am going to be testing it myself. So I'll be setting up a shop to explore this further. I will be tracking my costs, charging accordingly, seeing what happens. If you have an interest in following along, we'll be posting periodic updates to this investigation. And just remember, every failure leads to evidence. Let's examine it. I'm Cassandra Bones. Thanks for joining in.